Hello, Fritz.
The Bears are who we thought they were.
The Bears. The Bears.
I am the great Cornholio.
We'll see what happens.
Playoffs?
See, Sean McDonough, Jay Billis. Goats.
Can you play a song? Something cool. Put my mic on!
I'm calling both games.
Goes down the field for Smith.
Oh, he got it.
Seattle. We're getting ready for Cincinnati.
So as I mentioned in this segment, I'll be getting to some teams that I think, some coaches that are on the hot seat entering the season. And, it's tough to say, right? As I mentioned with the whole quarterback thing, it's tough to tell entering the season, who's on the hot seat. We haven't even played a game yet. I get it. But there are definitely some coaches coming into this year where you can point to and say, yeah, that guy is on the hot seat. And one team that I'm saying, oh yeah, that guy's definitely on the hot seat, and you might kind of laugh at this a little bit, but I'm saying the Houston Texans, because you know what? They don't give any coach a chance. I mean, we saw they gave David Culley 1 year with a team that I think I could have put a better team together than the roster that was there. And that was his first year. You can't really blame him on that. They had the whole Deshaun Watson debacle going down, and that's tough. That's a tough situation to be in. And they went and won 4 games. I don't know how they did that. And, they went and fired him after 1 year, and I just didn't think that was a very fair shot. I didn't think that was very fair. So, but you know what? That doesn't matter. Fairness or not, it doesn't seem to matter with the Houston Texans. So, you know what? Yeah, it's Lovie Smith's first year, but you know what? Who knows? They could probably, who knows? They might fire him after 1 year. Doesn't matter. Lovie Smith, he's probably on the hot seat just because, they like to fire coaches after 1 year. I don't know on Arthur Smith, the Falcons coach, because if he goes and has a decent year, I think he's a guy that they're going to say, all right, we want to go through this rebuild, but we want you to be the coach in that rebuild. If he doesn't do well, then they might be looking for another coach. So that's kind of, I don't think he's on the hot seat yet, but that's something to kind of look out for. Another team that it's iffy a little bit, I would say, are the Seahawks. As I mentioned, they're a team that I very well could see, going out and taking that LA Rams rebuild approach. I could see them doing that because Pete Carroll's a great coach. Or they could say, we want to blow this whole thing up and start over from scratch, and they probably would go and get a new coach in that scenario. So depending on what direction they go in, Pete Carroll could be on the hot seat. One team I definitely, and this is a more serious definitely, I know is on the hot seat, is Mike McCarthy. And that might be a surprise to some, but the whole way that their season ended last year, and even through the regular season, he made some head-scratching play calls. And the Cowboys, I'm not saying they're not a great. I don't think they're going to be a great team this year. Kind of a surprising team, and a surprising hot seat coach candidate entering the year could be Brandon Staley, the Chargers head coach, because last year they missed the playoffs because he called a timeout in overtime. That's literally it. That's the only reason that the Chargers missed the playoffs. And they had a pretty good team last year. And this year, they've got an even better team. They kept all their weapons on the offense, and they went out and just put together about as good of a defense as you could have, put together. And I think if you miss the playoffs with that team, then it's kind of like, okay, you're done. If you miss the playoffs with this team, there's no team that we can put together that you're going to make the playoffs with. And last but not least, I think one last coach that is most certainly on the hot seat is Matt Rule. You finally have, for the first time since Cam Newton was the quarterback the first go-around in Carolina, you have a quarterback for real. You have a real deal quarterback in Baker Mayfield. You've got Christian McCaffrey, if he stays healthy. You've got DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, and a few more weapons on offense. The defense, all right, I'll let you debate that a little bit. But if the Panthers, and again, I get that their division is very difficult, but if you go out as Matt Rule and the Panthers and you are a sub-500 team or worse, Matt Rule could be fired mid-season or by the end of the season, because I look at the Panthers as a playoff contending team right now. I really do. But if they go out with that team and they are just as bad as they were last year, Matt Rule is probably not the answer. And I don't think he is anyway. I think he's going to be let go. I think it's kind of inevitable at this point that, unless he pulls some kind of 12-5 season out of his rear end, Matt Rule's time in Carolina is probably coming to an end. Most likely.